A lot of people out there are facing minor issues with their health, with fatigue, bloating, skin irritations, all sorts of things. But what they don't realize is that most of those things lead right back to the main issue, which is simply the gut. So today I'm sharing with you 10 common gut problems that most people ignore. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's going on with your gut, how to address it in a more natural way, and I'll share with you some practical tips that you can start using today to reset your gut before it leads to an even bigger problem. And stick around because I am going to give some gems in this video, and the last one you will not want to miss because it is something that I even miss myself. So basically, the gut is the foundation for our immunity, our hormones, and even our mental clarity. The gut also acts as our second brain, believe it or not. The gut is called the second brain because it has its own nervous system known as the enteric nervous system. It also produces mood and stress chemicals known as dopamine and serotonin, and they help to determine how you feel emotionally, believe it or not, because it's tied to your gut. If you're nervous, say like if I'm going on a job interview and I might be nervous or feeling like I got butterflies, right? Well, all of a sudden I may start to feel anxious, or I might lose my appetite, or I might even feel sick on the stomach because I'm so nervous. That's pretty much the reason why the gut and the brain, they connect together, and it affects how we feel emotionally. Number one is gut dysbiosis, also known as imbalanced microbiome. Basically, the symptoms includes bloating, gas, constipation, and diarrhea. These are mainly common digestive issues, and you can even suffer from some skin conditions like psoriasis or eczema even. Then you have some more serious symptoms like IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, obesity, fatigue, or even a weakened immune system. And that simply means that your good and bad bacteria in your gut that we all have does not balance itself out. You may have more of the bad than the good, and that's what causing a lot of your digestive issues. So for instance, you may have issues with feeling bloated immediately after you eat. This is a comment someone made on Reddit. I wake up bloated and go to bed bloated. I can't go out because I can't really wear pants other than sweats, and even those get uncomfortable. Despite going up 2 sizes just to accommodate for the bloating, not to mention it plays with my body dysmorphia. Okay, so they feeling like all kind of mental issues there. The main causes is going to be sugar, processed foods, stress, and antibiotics. And also, before we move ahead in the comments, I want to know right now, what are some of the symptoms that you may be facing when it comes to your gut health? Do you feel bloated? Do you feel tired, foggy brain? Let me know in the comments what type of issues you're dealing with. The first alternative or natural remedy that we could use is actually moringa. It's really a great option because it's highly nutrient. Moringa is actually rich in prebiotic fiber, which helps to feed the good bacteria into the gut. With gut dysbiosis, there's an imbalance, right? You might have a little bit more of the bad bacteria than you have of the good bacteria. And something like moringa is going to help to reset the gut and put back in the good bacteria so it can balance the levels back out. Another option is oregano oil or thyme tea. These things you can find in the supermarket. It's not hard to find organic teas because if you look on the tea aisle, there's a whole slew, a large variety of organic teas. The great thing about oregano oil and thyme is that they are antimicrobials, so they are going to help to rebalance the bad bacteria in the gut. So all of those sugar cravings you've been having lately, all those snacks that you've been sneaking into your meals, it's not you. That's just your bacteria in your gut talking back to you. Number two is constipation and irregular bowel movement. A lot of people suffer from constipation and don't even know why or how to fix it. The issue here is that you're not getting enough fiber into the diet. So you want to make sure that you correct that. With constipation, you know you're going to have things like bloating, irregular bowel movements. One day you may be able to go, the next day you may not. Being constipated for so long is just going to make issues worse because it could lead to issues like developing hemorrhoids. And it can definitely be scary because with some of the symptoms, you can get it confused with more serious symptoms. So you definitely want to make sure that if it is hemorrhoids, you go ahead and address the problem and address it quickly. fecal impaction, which is like a blockage in the intestine, or even you can develop fissures. So those are some pretty scary symptoms to have to deal with. We do have some herbal solutions that you can find. Number one is aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice is actually great because it helps to lubricate the colon and it also helps to soothe inflammation. So aloe vera juice, you can find it easily in your local grocery store. They have it actually in a juice and in the leaf. I've actually tried aloe vera juice. It seemed to have more of a bland taste to it, but you can always mix it with another juice to make it taste a little bit better. The actual plant or leaf, you can actually cut that up, blend it and put it in your juices or your drinks, and you shouldn't even be able to taste it because it really doesn't have a taste. The next solution for constipation and irregular bowel movements is going to be flaxseed or chia seed. You can actually drink a flaxseed or chia seed tea, and they both are a natural bulk builder. So they're going to help with the colon line and help push things through as well because they are so high in fiber. Next, we have tripala, which is actually an Ayurvedic blend of 3 different fruits, and it's actually used as a gentle biotonic. So if you're the type of person who likes to drink coffee a lot or have to have that caffeine, your gut might actually be asking for plants. Number 3 is bloating and chronic gas. Another issue that someone was facing online, and they said, I feel bloating and gas in my stomach immediately after eating anything. Even water makes me bloat, and my GI doc is clueless and keep prescription PPI. What do I do, guys? So this is an ongoing issue for many years now. I have a problem where my stomach produces gas immediately I eat anything. I could eat anything with ease before, but now I feel acid in my stomach and bloating. I don't know what's wrong. So as you can tell, people are really frustrated out there and they don't seem to know where to turn for help. It's not fun dealing with being bloated because constantly feeling uncomfortable and bloated after every meal is not a fun issue to deal with. And then you're having to deal with things like you're feeling uncomfortable when your clothes get too tight immediately after you eat, or dealing with embarrassing gas symptoms like this. Those sound minor, and but they can lead to a much bigger issue. So here's the thing: when it comes to gas, it could stem from low enzyme activity or even overgrowth of bad bacteria, which could lead to more serious conditions like SIBO. So the issue with SIBO is that you're going to have an overgrowth of bacteria in the smaller intestine, and it's going to lead to many issues. The large intestine is naturally supposed to have more bacteria versus the smaller intestine, which is supposed to have few. In the large intestine, the bacteria overgrows, and then it leads to more symptoms like bloating, gas, pain, and that's because the food is sitting there fermenting in the intestine. That can lead to malnourishment because the body may have trouble absorbing the nutrients because of the bacteria overgrowth. So some simple solutions that you can try at home is simply things like ginger. Ginger is great because it supports motility. It's going to help get the food moving through the colon, and it also helps to cut down on gas. Another great option is peppermint. You can use it in an oil or tea. Peppermint oil is great because it helps to calm the intestinal muscles, and it also helps to relieve pressure. At the end of the day, bloating is not a normal occurrence. You should not be feeling bloated after every single drink or meal that you have throughout the day. And it is simply your gut sending you a message. Now, number 4 is leaky gut syndrome, which basically means that the gut lining is weak. Leaky gut means that there's an increase in the permeability of the intestine. So basically, the small intestine develop gaps or holes in the lining. It can allow undigested food, bacteria, or toxins to seep through the holes or the gaps in the small intestine. Those toxins can actually leak into the bloodstream and cause very serious issues. You can test for leaky gut from having a stool test or blood work done to see what the root cause is. There's an issue with leaky gut because there's not enough evidence currently yet to prove that leaky gut causes other diseases. It's actually, they think that other diseases causes leaky gut, and there's really no gold standard test for doctors to use to identify it as an actual root cause. And basically, they think that the symptoms are not isolated enough to say that, oh, these set of symptoms cause leaky gut, right? So what they thinking is the symptoms can overlap into many other diseases, and that's where the confusion comes with leaky gut. But you can still, like I said, have blood work and tests done to rule out any issues. Getting a diagnosis for leaky gut can be a little bit tricky and difficult because of this reason. So you could think of the gut as, for example, like a coffee filter. So it's the actual lining, and it's fragile, so that when gaps or holes develop in that lining, now the system, you're susceptible to toxins, bacteria, or what God knows what that should not be entering through that layer. And so now it's out in the open, and it could be dangerous because it can enter to your bloodstream. Some things you can try is slippery elm or marshmallow root tea. And both of those are great because they both are known as mucilage herbs because they actually coat the lining of the digestive tract. Licorice root is great because it helps to reduce inflammation, and it also helps to produce mucus. So if you've been dealing with any type of skin flare-ups or fatigue, your gut is screaming for help. Number 5 is food sensitivities and intolerances. Someone said, what's happening to me? I keep getting food sensitivities after food sensitivities. Food sensitivities or intolerances are just digestive issues where the body is having trouble breaking down or digesting the food. And they can lead to symptoms like bloating, diarrhea, gas, but they're usually not life-threatening, so that's a good thing. But just remember that a food allergy is an immune reaction, and it can be severe, and it could be potentially harmful to you or even fatal. Not to say that to scare you, but it is true. And they could cause symptoms like hives, swelling, or even having trouble breathing. Most food sensitivities are going to be gluten, soy, or dairy based products. Great options to help combat this is turmeric and chamomile. Chamomile is awesome because it helps to calm allergic gut reactions and spasms. Turmeric is also great because it helps to reduce inflammation from having food sensitivities. So number 6 is irritable bowel syndrome. So if you've been experiencing cramps, having multiple bathroom runs, or feeling like you just can't get it together no matter what you do, it's not you, it's your gut. The problem with IBS is it's a problem with how the brain and the gut communicates. That gut-brain communication is broken. Now, it's not life-threatening, but it is an issue that could impact the quality of your life. So the main problem with IBS is going to be stress, diet, and the imbalance between your gut and your brain. Peppermint is going to be a great option because it has actually been proven to be a relief for IBS. Fennel is another great option because it reduces gas and cramps, and it actually helps with the communication between the brain and the gut, and it's going to help your system to feel calm. It's interesting because our gut is not just a physical thing, it's actually emotional as well. So it's safe to say that your gut can literally feel your stress. Number 7 is brain gut axis imbalance. So basically that imbalance means that there's an interruption, or the communication between the gut and the brain is broken. And that can lead to digestive issues and have a negative impact on your mental health. With this imbalance or this communication between the brain and the gut axis, you have communication from the brain to the gut, and then you have the reverse or the opposite. You have the communication from the gut to the brain. So it's a two-way street. The brain to gut communication, where the signal is going to be sent from the brain to the gut. And this can lead to symptoms like having an upset stomach or things like diarrhea. And then you have the gut to brain signal communication, and that can affect things like your mood and cause issues like making you have anxiety or even feeling depressed. So for this, you can use lemon balm. It's going to be great because it helps to soothe your nerves and calms the digestive system. And holy basil is great because it helps to balance the cortisol levels, and it helps with gut inflammation. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt nervous? That's simply the signal from your gut to your brain. Number 8 is the overuse of antibiotics and medications. I've heard of people being affected with developing things like yeast infections after taking antibiotics, because we know that generally antibiotics go in there and sweep away all of the bacteria, whether it's good or bad. And not just antibiotics, we got different medications that create this same type of effects. Like, for example, If you're someone who takes PPI, which is a common drug that's used to reduce stomach acid for people who may suffer from acid reflux or conditions like GERD. So we know that the stomach naturally is supposed to maintain a low pH because it's supposed to be able to break down the foods that we eat so that we can absorb the nutrients. With many medications like PPI, for example, the acid levels are disrupted because it pretty much stops the body from producing the acid, and it's going to drop the acid level in the stomach. So the stomach is not acidic enough now to break down the food and absorb the nutrients like it's supposed to, and that can lead to issues also. Now, the acid in the stomach is naturally, it's supposed to be there not only to break down food, but to kill off bacteria as well. Some great options to help combat this issue is eating more fermented foods such as sauerkraut or miso or even kimchi. These are great foods because they help to restore the probiotics into the gut naturally. So you don't have to take something over the counter, you can just eat it. You can also try prebiotic herbs such as dandelion or burdock root. And these are great because they both help to feed the good bacteria. This is what your gut needs to keep the microbiome more balanced so they can do its job. And the faster and the quicker that your gut can recover and restore the balance between the good and the bad bacteria, the quicker you will start to feel better. Number 9, low stomach acid and digestive enzymes. I'm sure everyone has experienced that heavy feeling right after you eat, or feeling sluggish or developing acid reflux. Is not a good feeling. It's basically your body not breaking down the food like it should be. And so what that means is the gut may not have enough enzymes to break down the food to be able to absorb the nutrients properly. And that can also lead to digestive issues like bloating, gas, heartburn, all the works. Having low stomach acid is going to be more common for older adults. I would say somewhere after 40, and stress is also going to be an issue. A bitters blend is going to be a great option to help combat low stomach acid. Things such as orange peel or dandelion are going to be a great option to try. They actually help to stimulate and produce acid production. It helps to stimulate the gastric juices. If you are someone who suffers from acid reflux, it may be not enough acid to break down your food. Number 10 is chronic inflammation. If you're feeling tired all the time, you're feeling achy, or your skin just won't clear up, it could be gut inflammation. Chronic inflammation starts in the gut, then it leads to fatigue, and then it turns into immune imbalance. It's a long-term response to injury or illness over a long period of time. Chronic inflammation can happen because the immune system can't turn itself off, or it can actually attack the body. A great way to fight chronic inflammation is going to be turmeric plus black pepper. These two in combination are great together because they are anti-inflammatory fighters. Aloe vera is going to be another great option because it helps to cool inflammation as well. Green tea is also great because it helps to reduce oxidative stress in the gut. So think of it like this: when your gut is on fire, your entire body can feel it. Your gut is not just your stomach, it's literally the foundation of everything from your mood to your metabolism. The amazing thing is nature gives us everything we need: the food, the herbs, and the habits to help the body to restore itself naturally. Now, those are the top 10 gut health problems most people ignore and how you can fix it fast. And also, I want to know which of these gut issues that I've went over sounds familiar to you. What's your experience been? Drop it in the comments. And as always, if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you share it with someone who can use this information so that the algorithm can push this video to more people who can see it. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.